let's go to Turf Moor,
Okay.
where we're becoming well versed in late goals for Liverpool.
Oh, blimey! After 83 minutes, apparently, yeah. All games after 83.
The last 4 games: 88, 90, 83, 95.
There you go.
Were the winners.
Yeah.
I mean, I was really interested in your quite strong take today, where obviously there's two schools of thought. They're champions. They're finding a way. They're getting it done.
Yeah.
And you sometimes you got to do that, and it'll get better. Or a bit more, I think, where you were going, like, that's kind of good for now, but this can't keep going.
No, it can't.
Because eventually something's going to give, and you're not going to get the points, and then we start having a problem.
Or you're going to get better. That's what they will hope. They will hope that they're going to get better. Alexander Isak is going to take a little bit of time. He has the potential to make them a lot better.
Yeah.
Florian Wirtz is still struggling a little bit. And I said this, Rob, at the beginning, where I felt like Liverpool, lots of change. There's 4 or 5 places in the team that's different, the champions. During that adaptation period, and when Isak comes in and all that, are they going to lose ground by this newness, by trying to find their feet in this new team, really, as half the outfield is different?
Your point, Rob, just on that, because I made a note, is in some ways his job maybe more difficult this year than it was last year? He didn't bring any, but Kaiser in, kept things, little tweaks.
I think it is
the
more
football
difficult.
was thing.
Yeah.
This time he's got Kirkes in, who hasn't settled well, looks a bit of a hothead. I thought it was a really important. I think you made a great point, and I wrote the same thing. Like, he's ruthless, by the way, and he said the risk on the pitch to Liverpool losing the game was Kirkes, so he got him off. Off he pop.
Yeah.
And I think he told him on the way off.
He did. Yeah.
But, you've got Kirkes come in, you've got Wirtz, who's not really settled, and it was, again, interesting. I watched the German game this week, just to watch Voldemort and Wirtz. Wirtz looked a different player, mate. Looked a different, freer, getting on the ball, demanding it off people and getting it in good areas and, zigzagging a few people. And it's really interesting how just his body language looked different in a German shirt than he did playing for Liverpool.
So, just a little side note, Rob. Let's go off on a tangent here a little bit. In our experience, right, of watching new players into this league, right, and my memory's awful, so I probably can't give you examples, but I feel like once you've seen them play 5, 6, 7, 8 times,
you've got a feel.
You've got a real good feel of how it's going to go. Now, I might be wrong, and there might be people that could say to me, but what about him starting slowly?
Joe Ellington's a great example.
In a different position, though. There was a big position change.
We didn't see that coming, what we came. Yeah. But I get your point. I'm not being...
I'm sure there's examples out there, Rob, but
as a rule, I
hope we're going to get better than what we've got. He's neat and tidy in it, but how long are we going to keep saying that? Maybe I'm impatient, right? And we're a bit knee-jerk to this. It's only 4 games in.
Yeah, I mean, it's been difficult, and the international break and whatever, get your rhythm, get training, all that stuff. Yeah,
okay. And we're not at the 6, 7, 8, like I've said, so there's time to... But it's a little concerning, and I just think, Rob, at the moment, I said to Tim, I think Arne Slot is not taking him off or not playing him.
Trying to see him
he don't want any more noise because there's a little bit of noise. Yeah, he hasn't done, for a very expensive player, like he hasn't done much. So if you bring him off, it adds to the pressure. His head goes down a little bit, and then people start to watch him a little bit. So I think he's still like, you're my guy, you're doing great, you're doing fine.
I think he's still, I think it'd be money well spent in the end. I suppose the other one, just to your point, would be Gravenberch would be a great example of, you see him in one season and not bad, and then we see, different player. Yeah. It's just that, the things that it's just the little movements that he was doing in the German shirt, Robin, that they're looking like and dummying and the little flicks and that. He hasn't had that kind of buoyancy on the ball when he's played for Liverpool. I don't know if he's playing safer. Is it a little bit more physical and intense in the Premier League? Maybe that's what everybody's saying. That's the kind of the standard line right now, and I think there's value in that. But after time, like when you play Burnley, you've got to get used to that, don't you?
Burnley, you're going to get a little bit more time. It isn't going to be crazy against. I mean, Burnley were a deep block today. Other question I got to ask you, Rob, and I find it fascinating. Of course, Alexander Isak made the move, and you were right on that and said that he would move. I wasn't quite so sure, but he did go.
Yeah,
I was looking back at Ekitike's kind of starting positions and where he's played. He's been a central player like 95% of the time. He's either one up front, or he's played up with for Frankfurt. He played up with Omar Mamouche, and that was a really nice relationship. I mean, is he gonna? I think he's probably going to sit a little bit on the bench when Isak's up to speed. I mean, he's not going to play him as a 10. He's got Wirtz there, and he's got other midfield players. Is he going to push him to the left? Cody Gakpo's
I would think that the chance for him might be Gakpo.
To play him on the left.
Yeah, apparently he drifts. I did a little bit of reading like you when he first came in the league, and people said he does like to drift off and out to that left-hand side and come in on his right foot. Scored a couple of goals there, didn't he? Scored the Community Shield and the one he come after he played. But I know what you mean. It's not a given, but again, it's a bit like the Arsenal scenario. I think informed players will play. I mean, prior to that, Liverpool have always had, when they had the Firmino, Salah, and Mane. They needed somebody to come in. They've got 4 or 5 strikers who all could start. I mean, in terms of performances, Rob, the great man who's now gone to 4th in the all-time Premier League goal-scoring list, Mo Salah, hasn't really kicked a ball in terms of performances.
No, penalty kick today. Yeah.
The goals have come, and it's a brilliant penalty kick. But in terms of his form's not been great. I'm not saying you drop Salah, but Ekitike looks lively and looks like he brings a little bit of something to the group. And it was interesting. I read a line from him this week where somebody mentioned Isak and whether that was his place. And he said, you've got to be prepared to compete with great players and try and play with great players. So I kind of feel like he thinks if I keep doing what I do, he's got in the French squad now. He came on the other day. He may feel that he'll be a starter as well. I mean, we've even seen, by the way, let me just chuck this one at you, and it only just come in my head. I heard on the slot saying we've got to be careful with Isak and take our time. How about Isak to the left-hand side? Yeah. Like he did at Newcastle a couple of times, just to bed him in.
Yeah, possibly. I just think, I just really like Ekitike, and the potential he gives you. And I wouldn't want to see him sort of in and out the side, being pushed to different positions. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Just in terms of options, Rob, off the bench. Now, of course, Isak's not there. Curtis Jones is out as well. A young Rio Ingamoa came on, looked very sharp. Frimpong, not many other. When you compare it to Arsenal's options right now as attacking players, Liverpool a little bit short in their squad. I mean, they can't afford many injuries to those attacking players, and they look a little thin with all the games coming up. They got Champions League on Wednesday against Atletico Madrid. I just looked at the bench, Rob, and it's just like, it's not a ton. Chiesa, I don't know. Are they a little short there?
I can't totally agree with that. You got your Curtis Joneses, you got your Frimpongs who come in. Bradley.
I thought Bradley did well when he came on.
Yeah, that wouldn't be my biggest worry. I think once we get settled down, I have to say I felt for Burnley, mate, because no doubt Scotty Parker in his group, and I know some of the different players who came up, but I was looking at their record. I think it was 24 clean sheets. I think they had last season in the Championship. Something incredible number. They conceded only 16 goals.
Yeah, amazing.
And like Burnley last year with Scotty Parker. I kind of was thinking. And again, it's not like Liverpool can continue to do this or Liverpool can't. But it was just like the mentality of the Premier League is just so different. There's like great players, great technical players and quality, but there's a mentality change as well. That you get stronger-willed people, I think, in the Premier League, and so it was that will that it's obviously a penalty. It's obviously, Mo Salah gets it. He ain't going to miss it, and they get the 3 points. And I thought, it was a bit harsh on Burnley, who'd done their thing, and their sending off didn't help. Kachuglu, I thought should have got a straight red, by the way.
Yeah,
I thought it was a straight red, man. I thought it was a terrible challenge.
No, I did, yeah.
But I just think as well, that's something that Championship teams have to get used to as well. All the speed and the power and the quality, but there's a mentality that teams do keep coming back, do keep trying. They have got a way of finding a way. And I don't know, we saw it happen to Leeds yesterday in a similar situation last minute. An own goal wasn't for Leeds. This time it's a penalty for Burnley. And I felt a bit for Scotty and his group because they did what they could to stop Liverpool. Liverpool weren't on a great day, and it looked like they were going to get a point, and all of a sudden, you get nothing, and you go, everything goes out of the dressing room.
First, Scott Parker loss at Turf Moor as manager. So, wow, it looked like he was going to continue the run. I mean, that's how strong they've been at Turf Moor. So, yeah, I did feel for my old mate Scott Parker. I played with him years ago at Charlton. Great guy. Get another chance in the Premier League. Yeah, and set his
very
team up
different
very
from
defensive.
the last time he played Liverpool, wasn't it? When he got smashed 9.
9, when I know, yeah. Rebecca said about that, how it's probably scarred him like all those years ago.
Yeah.
And the
ill-equipped,
remember the ill-equipped coat?
That was the end of him, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Gary O'Neill jumped in there then, didn't he?
Did a good job. Yeah.
What happened to Gary O'Neill? Whatever happened to him?
Yeah. But well done, Liverpool, Rob. Not playing at their best and still finding ways to win. That's maximum. 4 wins out of 4.
4 straight wins, mate. Late goals coming in, and Alexander Isak to come into the fold. Can't be bad, my friend. Can't be bad.
Not bad.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And for even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.